Hi, this is Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Always remember, when picking or betting on fights, that the opinion that matters is your opinion because it's your money. Right? Just view this video, in fact, just view me as the guy on the stool next to you in the bar drinking a Guinness, giving you his opinion on the fight. Just remember, this video might be right, it might be wrong. The ultimate decision is yours. Okay? Now, with that in mind, let's talk about an upcoming fight that I think is intriguing. Right? We try to pick intriguing fights here. And it is a fight between the only man to stop Michael Casitas inside of the distance, and that's Joel Casamayor. Right? He knocked down Casitas twice in the first round of their fight. Then later in the fight, he actually was able to close the show against Casitas, whose only other loss was a split decision loss to Juan Diaz in Juan Diaz's hometown. Right? The rumor is that Joel Casamayor is going to fight Joan Guzman. Now, weight is critical here, and it's something you need to focus on before you do anything, right? Because of the histories of the fighters. Casamayor came into his last fight at 146 pounds, right? If this fight is at 147 pounds, then I like Guzman to win the fight, right? If the fight is at 140, my advice to you is to stay on the sidelines. Let's talk about it. Understand that Casamayor is a pro's pro. He has power. He's a southpaw. He was able to take out Casitas, who's a very aggressive Mike Tyson type of puncher. He was able to take out Casitas with headshots. Here's the problem. The problem is Guzman has some of the best head movement in the entire sport. I believe it's almost impossible to hit Guzman in the head. Remember, don't go by hype. Styles make fights. In fact, let's go deeper on Guzman. If you investigate Guzman's past, you're going to find out that Guzman, as of this video, is an undefeated fighter. Quite frankly, in my warped off-road analysis, Guzman should be considered one of the 10 best fighters in the sport, pound for pound. Now, I understand that he's not. There is a list up of pound for pound greats on Ring Magazine, their site, on Yahoo Sports. Everyone always overlooks Guzman, and I understand that Guzman has done some weird things like blow a weigh-in for a fight against Nate Campbell that would have been one of boxing's better fights. And of course, that fight got canceled. So then Guzman comes back and blows the weigh-in for a rematch fight against Ali Funeka after getting a gift draw in their first fight. So I understand Guzman is troubled, but understand that the talent's undeniable and boxing is a sport of troubled souls. Style-wise, I don't know what Casamayor's people are thinking because Casamayor is not going to be able to catch Guzman in the head. Guzman has the much faster hands. Guzman has the far superior foot speed. Guzman is the worst possible nightmare for a better known fighter. Guzman's actually an underrated, excellent fighter who, quite frankly, can make people look incredibly bad in the ring. Keep in mind, Guzman beat Funeka in the rematch using spectacular head movement, Guzman's also beaten people like Humberto Soto. Also, let's talk about Casamayor. Gamblers, I think, profit when they spot fighters who are underrated. They also profit when they spot fighters who are in decline. And unfortunately, if you look closely at Casamayor's win over Casitas, you're going to see that after he dropped Casitas twice early in that fight, Casitas got up and started dominating the fight. In fact, Casamayor could not handle Casitas' intensity and aggression. So Casamayor started doing veteran tricks. He actually had to throw a low blow to slow down Casitas, who looked like he was on the verge of possibly stopping Casamayor. I thought that fight was instructive because Casamayor's skills looked to be in decline. In fact, the fight Casamayor had before that against Santa Cruz, quite frankly, I thought he lost that fight and got a gift decision. The fight after he fought Casitas, he fought Juan Manuel Marquez, and just imagine this. He got countered to death and he got stopped for the only time in his career. Folks, that was just 2 fights ago. So you're dealing with a guy who has a huge reputation in the sport, but he's in decline, kind of like Miguel Cotto. Let's also talk about the weight. People who've read my book know that I'm a skeptic of fighters like Ricky Hatton, who will typically have to lose 20 pounds before a fight, right? Here, I know there are red flags all over the place on Guzman, but understand that if the fight is at 147, that's a weight where Guzman is comfortable. In fact, quite frankly, I believe Guzman, if he were to fight Amir Khan, one of the champs at 140, would win that fight handily. Guzman is that level of talent. He's championship level. He's an elite fighter. As I said, I consider him one of the sport's top 10 pound for pound. If it's at 147, Guzman will have no problem making that weight. Now, Casamayor, who has been fighting at 135, we don't know if at 147 he's going to have the speed, the quickness, the balance, the stamina that we already know Guzman has. Because Guzman in that Ali Funeka rematch, of course, weighed in at 144. Fight night was around 147 and still had the quickness, still had the head movement against a fighter that is much more active than Casamayor. Guzman is like Andre Ward. He's surprising because he's a boxing chameleon. I've seen Guzman plant and not move much and just destroy a guy with sheer boxing ability. His boxing ability, and this next statement will be controversial, but his boxing ability is actually much better than Shane Mosley at 147. Mosley hits harder, but I don't think if Mosley fought Guzman, Mosley would beat Guzman, right? Quite frankly, I don't think we'll ever hear of a Floyd Mayweather versus Guzman match because I'm sure Mayweather understands that there's great risk and little reward fighting a guy like Guzman who boxing people know, but the public isn't that excited about. So I actually think at 147, Guzman has the quickness. The weight won't be a problem for him. At 147, I believe it's a big problem for Casamayor. Casamayor's last fight, lackluster affair. Look it up on BoxRec.com. Um, he's only fought once at 147. If the fight's at 147, what you're going to have is a fighter in decline who suffered his first stoppage 2 fights ago against one of boxing's best, an unbeaten fighter who is vastly underrated. I like Guzman in this one. If the fight's at 140, my advice to you is to stay out of this one. If the fight's at 147, I like Guzman to take it. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me on gamblersadvisory.com as well as here. And as I always say, if I'm wrong, punish me in the ratings here on YouTube. But if I'm right, give me 5 stars or a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.